Everyone, please join me in welcoming Harry Sideris, CEO of Duke Energy.
Good morning, everybody. I didn't hear y'all. Good morning. All right. The rain's not going to dampen us. The sun's out now. Thank you, Chancellor Howell. Thank you, Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, parents, family, friends, and most of all, the class of 2026. Congratulations on reaching this tremendous milestone in your lives. I know your day is going to be really busy today, taking thousands of pictures, having lots of after parties to attend, but I want to make sure that you don't let this moment slip away. This is a huge moment for you guys. You are graduating today from one of the finest institutions in the entire world. I know the Chancellor said in the country, I'm going to use the world. So let's give yourselves another big round of applause for that. It is such an honor for me to be here and a treat to return to my alma mater, a place that holds so many fond memories for me, like painting the Free Expression Tunnel at 3 in the morning before homecoming. I remember camping out for basketball tickets outside of Reynolds Coliseum when we used to do that, and having to light fires in the trash cans to keep warm in December and January. And I especially remember loading up on ice cream at the Tally Center, which looked nothing like the palace that you have today. Back then, it looked more like a DMV office. And y'all have a better name for the ice cream now than back then. Howlin' Cow, what a great name. Back then, it was just NC State Dairy ice cream. And I remember meeting people who became my lifelong friends, who to this day seem to know exactly when I'm going into an important meeting and choose exactly that moment to blow up the group text. I feel my phone vibrating in my pocket right now. Most of all, I remember how proud my parents were at my graduation in this very stadium. They were my biggest champions. My mother, she passed away this past January. And as I stand here today, I'm thinking about the many sacrifices she and my dad made to help me succeed. I suspect a lot of you out there know what I'm talking about. Moms, dads, grandparents, other family, the people who showed up for you again and again. So tomorrow's Mother's Day, but I don't think we should wait to celebrate the folks that we love. So let's take a moment and give a big round of applause for those celebrating tomorrow. For those procrastinators out there, and I know there's many because I was one of them when I sat out there, you still got a few hours to order flowers, so get on it. Now, a quick disclaimer. Most people will not remember their commencement speaker. If you don't recognize me in the parking lot later, no offense taken. I happen to remember mine, but not for the reasons you'd expect. Our speaker was former U.S. Senator Elizabeth Dole. It was about 100 degrees in Carter-Finley that May day, and back then all the gowns were black, not red like today, and they were made out of polyester. And so there we were, sweating, slowly melting, when one of my classmates decided he was going to disrobe and strip down to his leopard print bikini briefs and run across the stage. So I don't remember a thing Senator Dole said that day, but I do remember that tackle by the public safety officer. We should have signed him up for the football team. It's been a long journey for me from sitting where you are today to where I'm standing today. But a whole life happened in between those two periods, and much of it I didn't predict. When I left NC State in 1994, I thought my career goal was to be an engineer, to design stuff sitting in the corner, heads down, not talking to anybody, and nobody talking to me. Then a few years out, I was flipping through the classifieds in the newspaper, and I saw a job at Carolina Power and Light. Graduates, you can ask your family members later what classifieds are. Let's just say that was the time before LinkedIn. I applied for the job, and I was blessed to be hired as an operations engineer. It wasn't a glamorous job by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, some people called it the things that nobody else wanted to do. But not long after I started in the summer of 1996, Hurricane Fran hit the East Coast. It was a devastating storm. Here in North Carolina, around 1.7 million customers lost power. In the aftermath, I was sent out into the field to help the restoration crews on the ground. I was 26 years old with no clue what to do. Not exactly who you want out there trying to get your power hooked back up. But I was so glad to be there, seeing the joy on people's faces when the lights came back on. There was nothing like that. I found that when AC works, when you can cook with your family, or even just watch TV together, those are the things that give us a sense of steadiness in our lives. I saw firsthand that we were making a difference. That summer, something changed for me. It was my own lights coming on moment, so to speak. I realized then my job just wasn't about plant operations. It was about helping people. That sense of purpose has kept me at Duke Energy ever since. 30 years and 20 different roles. Now you may be thinking, that's nice, Harry, but what that's got to do with me? I share it because I want you to know the future you've always imagined for yourself might not turn out to be perfect fit like you think. And the role you accept as your job for now might reveal itself as your life's work. So don't worry if you haven't figured out what exactly lights you up yet. Wherever you are on your journey, here's my advice to you. Embrace the uncomfortable. That's where growth happens. That's where the most exciting breakthroughs live. In retrospect, my career trajectory can be explained in one sentence. When opportunity knocked, I never said no, even when I kind of wanted to. Let me share an example. A few years after I started with the company, they were hiring for a manager's level position. I didn't think I was ready for it, and neither did my boss. He actually told me so. But one of my mentors disagreed. That mentor knew something I didn't appreciate at the time. Yes, I had more to learn, but I also had more than enough to start. So he nominated me for the role. HR reached out, that interview, and eventually that role set me on the path to what brought me here today. There were lots of challenges in that first year. On my first day, I didn't feel confident. I was actually scared to death. Frankly, my whole first year as a manager, I was figuring it out in real time. It was uncomfortable. But that's the point. You don't grow by waiting until you feel you're ready. You grow by stepping into things that will stretch you. And NC State grads always figure it out. So take the leap and trust that the safety net will appear. One of the most defining episodes in my life was also one of the hardest. It was September 2017 when Hurricane Irma struck Florida. It was a Category 4 monster, 200-mile-an-hour winds. It affected the entire state of Florida and left millions of customers without power. At the time, I was leading our Florida business, and it was honestly quite a mess. I remember being in the storm control center at 11 o'clock one night. We had promised our customers we'd have their power back by midnight. With only 1 hour left, we still had 500,000 customers without power, so we weren't even close. It was more than a tough day at the office. It impacted real people navigating a terrible storm. It felt like the whole world was coming down around me, and I couldn't do anything about it. Eventually, we got the power restored. But it wasn't a moment for celebration. It was a time for deep reflection. And in my next job, when I was put in charge of overseeing our electric grid operations, including storm response across 6 states, my first priority was making sure that this would never, ever happen again. I took what I learned in that painful experience and used it to do better next time. That's all any of us can ask of ourselves. Not perfection, but a commitment to progress. And I'm guessing everyone in this stadium has faced some kind of storm during your time here at NC State. Maybe you went through a tough breakup. Maybe you missed a critical shot and lost the game. Maybe you almost failed thermodynamics. Not that I'm speaking from experience. Storms will happen. You will weather them. You are ready to embrace the uncomfortable. And I know that in part because despite of everything I've been talking about, you've kept your commencement gowns on so far. So let's keep that streak alive. So let me close with the same wise words my advisor, Dr. Setzer, offered me. He said, Harry, when you leave NC State, what matters most won't be anything you learn from a book. What your diploma proves is that you can be taught. He was absolutely right. Being teachable means you'll walk into a role you're not ready for and grow into it. It means you'll fail at something important and learn from it. It means the landscape can change around you and you'll adapt right along with it. It's no secret that y'all are entering a turbulent world, from a tough job market to uncertainty around AI, to wars abroad, to polarization here at home. And last time I checked, there wasn't a class called How Do You Deal with All That? But you have spent years here learning how to learn, how to wrestle with hard problems, how to ask for help and offer it, how to work alongside people who are different from you and build something incredible together. An NC State education doesn't just give you knowledge, it gives you something even more durable, the ability to keep growing no matter what comes next. And if you want proof, look no further than our own Wolfpack astronaut, Christina Cook. Woo. Who just returned from outer space on Artemis II. That's the kind of achievement an NC State education can launch, literally. So here's my challenge to you graduates. Go find your Hurricane Fran. Take the job you're not ready for. Figure it out in real time. And yes, make sure you have a good group text. Never run from the uncomfortable. Run towards it. Because here's what you learn. Confidence doesn't come before the leap, it comes after. And that's where your best work and your best life will be found. You have a whole Wolfpack cheering you on today and every day, and I cannot wait to see what this class accomplishes in the future. Congratulations again, class of 26, and go Pack!